So you know that Myers Park is probably hands down one of the best neighborhoods to live in Charlotte, but you don't even know where it is. Well, in this video, I'm going to dive in and take you on a 10,000-foot view, share with you not only where Myers Park sits, but discuss the activities, where you can go, commute times, and a little bit about the neighborhood history itself. In addition, I'm also going to take you into some of the details that make Myers Park so exceptional and stand out among the rest of the neighborhoods here in Charlotte. Be sure to stay tuned to the very end because I am going to touch base on home values and prices and where I think this neighborhood could be going in the next few years. Myers Park has that historic charm and heritage feel. From the time you set foot on Queens Road and are welcomed by these beautiful, massive 100-year-old oak trees that arch over the roads and the beautiful mansions and historic homes lining either side, you know you've entered a completely different part of Charlotte. Now, there are multiple homes inside of Myers Park that have already been deemed true historic sites and have the placard to prove it. But Myers Park as a neighborhood is actually a historic neighborhood. And that doesn't mean that every house in it is historic, but having a historic neighborhood inside of your city is probably one of the coolest things you could ever have. Not only does it give a beautiful look into what Charlotte once was, and that it's been completely preserved for us to still enjoy today, but it also gives us the opportunity to grow and mature into the 21st century, still holding on to some of those values like our beautiful canopied trees, winding roads, and magnificent architecture. So the historic charm is one thing, but let's talk about where Myers Park and why the location itself is exceptional. Now, this is Myers Park right here. You can see it outlined in this little red line, and I'm going to take us way out so you can see where in the world we are. Now, as we zoom out, you can start to see the 485 Beltline taking shape here. You can see uptown Charlotte, which was once downtown, and they had a marketing facelift, so now we call it uptown. This was many years ago. If you call it downtown or you call it uptown, we all know it's right there. We don't have both. So as we come out, you're going to see the outskirts and other towns around Charlotte, but we're going to come all the way out because I want to give you an idea of what this looks like because a lot of people love to travel. So let's take a look at this. So from the Charlotte City Center, where Myers Park is, you are just an hour and a half to Boone, 2 hours to Asheville. You're 3.5 hours to Wilmington, 3.5 to Myrtle. But we don't have to visit Myrtle. Don't worry, no one goes to Myrtle. If you've been looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, then you've come to the right channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and be the first to know about all upcoming changes to the Charlotte, North Carolina market. I'm 𝗖𝗀, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. And every single day, we are getting calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people who are just like you, thinking about making the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you and you need a little extra guidance, be sure to drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. Whether you're thinking about making the move in 9 days or 90 days from now, across the world, across the country, or simply right across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. And beautiful Charleston, which is a wonderful place for a weekend getaway, especially if you love food. Now, as we zoom back in, you're going to notice we're also just a few quick minutes, I'm going to say, from some other areas of Charlotte that most people love. You're going to be about 35 to 40 minutes, depending upon where you're going, up to Lake Norman. If you're going to the south side of Lake Norman, you are about 30 to 35 minutes. You also have access to Lake 𝗖𝗨, which is all this right here. Lake 𝗖𝗨, technically this is Mountain Island Lake, Catawba River, then it goes to Lake 𝗖𝗨. But you can see the major difference in size there from Lake Norman to Lake 𝗖𝗨. Lake Norman is actually the largest man-made lake in the southeast, so it's quite expansive. We do have 2 major power plants on it. That is the whole purpose for it being there, but it does add to a little bit more heat in the lake, so you could actually be out there all the way into October. We don't do chilly water here. So getting back into it, down here, let's talk a little bit about Myers Park and what's around it. Now, Myers Park sits in this little quadrant right here, right along Providence, and it kind of hugs right along Freedom Park. Now, what makes this location so unique? Well, what I love about it, let me go ahead and grab my cursor here. You are just outside of uptown Charlotte. So if you're doing any kind of commutes, you're literally talking 5 minutes and you're at work, which is wonderful if you work in the uptown area. In addition to that, it also sits right next to Dilworth. Dilworth is another more historic district in Charlotte. It's absolutely gorgeous, and everything in here, great food. Anywhere on East is going to be delicious food, and really anywhere in Charlotte, to be perfectly honest. But there's some great restaurants right there, including Italian. We'll get into that in a minute. Now, right here, we have Freedom Park. Now, Freedom Park is probably, hands down, the most popular and most beautiful park in Charlotte. It has some, let's just zoom in here. It's got some gorgeous lakes. It's got 7 acres of lake. So you've got these little lakes in here, but you also have these beautiful little covered pavilions. You've got plenty of benches for seating and covered areas. It's 96 acres in total. And you've got running trails all around it. As we go to the other side right here, you also have these this is so cool, these really cool playgrounds right here. So you got the Freedom Playground, and what's covered up right here that you don't see is an actual steam engine. So there's an actual locomotive right there. You can see where they used to put in the coal and the kids can play on it. It's really neat. So this entire park is humongous. As you can see, it's got soccer fields and softball fields. Absolutely beautiful. Now, the great thing about this, if we take a look and follow this up, it actually connects right into Midtown Park as well and continues past and goes to a variety of other parks and areas in Charlotte. We love our greenways here. Charlotte is a hub for greenways. We've got them all over the city, and it gives a very easy way not only for you to get out and about to go ride bikes and play with the kids and go for a run, rollerblade. I like to rollerblade. So it gets the ability to go do that while not being on a road. Growing up, I grew up in the city up in New York, and that was always the challenge. Look out for cars. Well, when you're on a greenway, there's only foot traffic, only pedestrians. So you don't have to worry about that road traffic, which is a really good thing. So in addition to that, if we're looking at location of Myers Park right here, we are also very close, or on the border, should I say, for Barclay Downs. If you've seen some of my other videos, I had a video on Barclay Downs here recently, as well as Madison Park. So you've got these beautiful neighborhoods that all flow in together. Now, Myers Park is the historic one of these, but Barclay Downs is absolutely gorgeous as well. The fact that you've got proximity is extremely convenient. Now, in addition to that, right up to the right, we've got Eastover, and that goes into some of these other cute little neighborhoods such as Elizabeth. Eastover is very different. Even though it's right across the way, you've got some beautiful homes here, but what you're going to notice is that some of the homes, they start to differ a little bit. It's not necessarily as historic. You've got some newer homes really kind of sprinkled in there, but Myers Park stands alone. So let's talk a little bit about the roads here, okay? So 2 of the most popular roads in Charlotte, and I wouldn't even say popular, well known is a much better way to say that, is going to be Kings Drive right here. I'm going to go ahead and circle that. So we've got Kings Drive and we've got Queens Road. Okay, Queens Road. Now, in addition to that, we've also got Queens Road West/East. Okay, so it comes down Kings, turns into Queens Road West, then East, then comes back up and connects back into Queens. All right, so it kind of does this beautiful little swoop. We've also got West right here. Why is that? Well, this whole neighborhood, beautiful, was actually designed back in the early 1900s. See, John Smith Myers actually inherited a 300-acre farm. But instead of keeping it as farmland, as you can see, Charlotte was expanding even in the 1900s, didn't look nearly what it is now. And he decided he was going to get with city planners and create the type and style of neighborhood with winding streets instead of the blocked off streets that we are so accustomed to, especially up north, or even what you would see over here in Dilworth. See how Dilworth has the more boxed off streets? Instead, he wanted these curves, these swooshes. He wanted to work with the land. Now, one of the unique parts about Myers Park, it is actually quite hilly. Not overly hilly, just enough. We're not talking San Francisco hills here, but just enough hills, but exceptional tree cover. That's right. Let's take a look at the satellite view here. If you notice, while we have plenty of trees everywhere, over here you see a lot more houses. In Myers Park, look how lush the trees are. absolutely gorgeous. We have trees galore. And what you're also going to notice when we take a look at the roads, they have this little swoosh to it. So take a look here. See how it's very rounded and follows Queens Road? They didn't want straight roads. They wanted the curvatures to give it that feel. Now, as I mentioned, Myers Park is a historic district. Doesn't mean all the houses are historic, so don't worry. But some of the houses are actually deemed historic landmarks, which is really great for many reasons. One, if your house is a historic landmark and it has the actual placard, your taxes are actually half as much, which is great because there are some restrictions. If you wanted to go ahead and renovate your home, you might run into some setbacks, or it might take a little bit longer than you anticipated. It doesn't mean they're going to say no. It just means if you're going to add on to your home or do something that might change the exterior, well, the historic department, they do want to know what that is, and they want to make sure it stays in line with the times, meaning the times that that house was built. So while they're very easygoing, they're not as strict as some of the areas in Charleston. Yes, Charleston will make you find a manufacturer that will manufacture the exact same paint with the same amount of lead. Okay, I don't know about the lead, but get the idea there. Here, it's more about matching the colors, things really truly looking the way they needed to for the era in which your home was built. But this is what makes Myers Park so unique. We have these homes. They still exist. And most of them have been completely gutted and brought up to modern standards, but they keep the look and the architecture, which I think is just jaw-dropping. So let's talk about some of the things to do in Myers Park. It's really about getting outside. So first off, as I mentioned, we've got beautiful Freedom Park right here, absolutely gorgeous. And right here, we have Queens University. So if I pull this up right here, we have Queens University that sits right in the center of Myers Park. Talk about historic, absolutely gorgeous. Now, just around this is a 3-mile loop around Queens that is called the Booty Loop. Yes, that is really what it's called, and they actually do a race around here to raise money. It's the 24-hour run to raise money for cancer research. Really cool. Now, in addition to that, you could also join the Myers Park Country Club, which sits just to that south area of Queens. So right here, you can see beautiful, well-manicured golf course. As we zoom in here, plenty of pools for the kiddos. You've got great fitness facilities, restaurant, great places for entertaining. It's an absolutely magnificent country club. And in addition to that, of course, what would any country club be without pickleball and tennis courts? Yes, they have installed pickleball, although your avid tennis players would still probably turn up their nose to that. I just recently played pickleball for the first time. I will say it's way easier than tennis, which I never did well. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And then just to the south of that, not necessarily things to do, but here's where you're going to find the Myers Park High School. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see where this is right here. So Myers Park High School, gorgeous campus with multiple opportunities. As you can see, each building has its own study, which is great, and some wonderful facilities as well for sports. So the entire area is absolutely gorgeous, lush. I'm a big fan. Now, funny enough, the Myers Park High School technically sits just outside of it, more into the Barclay Downs area, but it's still considered Myers Park High. Now, in addition to that, if we go just to the north, you also have easy accessibility to plenty of shopping, okay? We've got Trader Joe's, Target, you've got different restaurants, the Midtown Park. Just about anything you could want is right there. Here's another unique piece of this, and by the way, some of my favorite restaurants, they all sit pretty much either right here off of East Moorhead, or zoom in a little bit right here, you've got East Boulevard. This leads right into South End. Very happening spot, lots of restaurants, plenty to do. But there are some amazing restaurants on East Boulevard. One of my favorites, Kid Cashew, actually named after the owner's pet goat. That's right, a kid is a baby goat. Cashew is the goat's name, and he named his restaurant after it. You can never get anything bad in there. The food is absolutely phenomenal. And another one of my favorite haunts right over here is 300 East, phenomenal for brunch. I mean, you can go there anytime, but brunch is great. I love brunch there. And Sunflower Baking Company. Now, all of these are great, and the food is just so easy to access. But there's another unique part about Myers Park that I want to point out. North Carolina is a magnificent state, but Charlotte stands out among the rest for a lot of reasons. One, we have one of the few level 1 trauma centers in the state. And actually, it's going to be the closest one for a few hundred miles. With that being said, as you see, the tip of Myers Park right here actually sits between two of our largest hospitals. This one right here, Atrium Healthcare Center, and up to the north would be Novant Healthcare Center. If you have anything from brain, so anything neurological or cardiac, it doesn't matter. Everything is covered here. Also, of course, after you get injured, you need physical therapy. There are some amazing physical therapists. Every specialty is covered. So if you're looking for a great location as well, this is going to do it. Now, Myers Park pricing, you are not going to find any property under 1.5, more than likely. Now, the average in this neighborhood is about 1.5 to 1.8. And that means that you've got plenty of homes that are much higher than that. Now, some of these neighborhoods in here and some of these lots have converted to townhomes. Not too many because they want to keep the historic nature, but it is not unusual to find some beautiful 4,000 square foot homes that are between 2.6 to 3.4 million dollars. And those homes are absolutely stunning. Now, if you are looking for a home here, I really would say your budget should probably be closer to 2.4, 2.3, just to start to find what you're really looking for. Now, if you're looking for more of that modern look, you're probably not going to find it in Myers Park, and you'll probably want to look closer into Barclay Downs or even down into some areas of South Park. Now, you could also find that a little bit further to the northeast, towards Eastover or Greer Heights, but if you want that historic, gorgeous home, you're gonna find it right here in Myers Park, and the lifestyle that goes along with it is well worth it. Now, you're also gonna find in this neighborhood, the median home income is about $200,000. So it certainly matches the prices of the homes. So what's gonna happen in this neighborhood in the coming years? Well, based upon what we're seeing, not only with the prices consistently rising, but the steadiness of the prices in this neighborhood is that it will consistently stay strong. That's right. Even we had dips in the market, this neighborhood still increased in value, even if it was just a little bit. So if you're looking for a great, stable place to go ahead and put down roots and a great investment, this is also the neighborhood to be looking in. Now, where are these prices going in the next 5 years? That I wish I had a crystal ball for. What I can tell you is, no matter what the market's doing, it seems that this neighborhood is always on the top list for most people looking in the area, especially if you're looking in this price range and want all of the amenities and closeness that you could possibly get. So, Myers Park, definitely the best investment, definitely the most beautiful neighborhood in Charlotte, and someplace that I would love to call home here soon, and you probably would as well. As always, I hope you get a ton of value out of this video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date on every new market change in Charlotte. And if you are looking for more information on Myers Park or other neighborhoods here in the Charlotte area and upstate of South Carolina, you're not alone. Every single day, we get calls, texts, emails, and even Zoom invites from people who are just like you, thinking about making the move. So if that's you, drop into the description below. All of our contact information is there, whether you're thinking about making the move in 9 days or in 90 days from now, across the world, across the country, or simply just across town. We're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. Here we go, one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go now. So you're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these. But honestly, watch both of them because they're going to help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.